Ito yung modus operandi itong OGAG na ito. Hanggang 3 beses pa pinabalik-balik yung ating seaman, yung would-be seaman. 3 beses, so 3 beses magbabayad ng 1,313. Ganon kamandurugas ito. That's bullshit. In every sense of the word. I'm sorry. Secretary Kakdak, let's work together on this. I-amend ko yan. Ibasura ko yung bullshit na yan. Sorry, nothing personal. I don't know you and you don't know me. Kasi parang racket to eh. Lumilitaw. Nang-racket kayo sa mga seafarer natin. Pasensya na po, Doc, ha? But I will do everything. Bibilisan ko na para mawala na kayo ng hanap buhay. Maghanap na lang kayo ng ibang trabaho. Okay. Super Care Medical. Have you heard of that? Clinic. Okay. Para sa mga seafarer. Okay. Paki-imbestigahan po ito. Of course, dapat meron po kayong MOA. I would suggest na magkaroon kayo ng MOA sa DOH na yung DOH bago sila mag-certify na yung clinic ay pwede na mag-operate para mag-check up para sa mga lalabas ng OFW, dapat may coordination muna sa inyo. Dapat meron din kayong say. Di ba?
Sige po, Mr.
Para
Senator.
makapagbigay din kayo ng mga suggestion kung ano yung mga dapat ipa-check up sa mga OFWs natin. Nasaan yung pangalan? Yung pangalan, saan lugar pa yun?
Ayan, Chair, Super Care Medical.
Ayan na yun, Super Care Medical Services. Ayan. Now, ito yung sitwasyon. Napakamandurugas itong Super Care na ito. Magpapacheck, bukod sa mahal, kasi usually 1,000 to 1,200. Ito nagcha-charge ata up to 1,300. Ito yung modus operandi itong OGAG na ito. First check up ng isang would-be seaman. Paglabas ng result, nagbayad. And paglabas ng result, sabi, another check up for confirmatory. And then lalabas ulit yung result, so naka 1,313, di 26. Ay, meron naman kami nakita. Confirmatory ulit. So, 3,900 na. Ganon kamandurugas ito.
Yes po, titingnan namin, Mr. Chair. Sa pagka sa sea-based po ay ang mga ship owners, meron niyang prescribed tinatawag na parang medical protocols kung ano yung specific na kailangan lang hanapin.
Correct.
So, madali pong ma-detect, Mr. Chair, whether excessive yung check-up. Kasi kung labis yan sa sinasabi ng ship owner na ito lang naman ang kailangan namin, excessive ka agad. So halimbawa po, kung yung confirmatory na sinasabi ninyo ay hindi naman pala kailangan, then madali pong maspat kung ano yung excessive. Opo.
Nasa dyan yung secretary
Opo.
na papalabasin na, ops, meron kami nakita, pero we have to confirm. So you have to undergo another test. So he or she has to pay another 1,300. And then, pangalawang beses, ops, meron pa pala kami nakita. Sorry. Another confirmatory test. Another bayad na naman. So yun po, iwasan natin. Kaya sabi ko po sa inyo, although
Yes.
ang nag-regulate nito is DOH, pero dapat may say din po yung DMW.
Mr. Chair,
Kaya magkaroon kayo ng MOA.
Yes, an MOA definitely would be helpful, Mr. Chair. We have what is called the HRH network, Health for Human Resources. HRH, Health for Human Resources Network. Nakikita po kami periodically with DOH and other relevant agencies such as the PRC, and then the private sector is also there. So, meron kaming venue to discuss all these matters. But tama po kayo, Mr. Senator, mas maganda, mas mapapagtibay namin kung may MOA, particularly on this matter. And we are deeply concerned about the matter yung sinabi niyo yung doble, triple pa ang check. Kasi ang mga ship owners, as far as they are concerned, basta na-deliver yung check-up required, yun na po yun para sa kanila.
Thank you. Okay.
Senator?
Yeah. Yes, sir. Dr. Jeffrey Cortel Ramel, MD, sir.
By the way, I'm not the president of the clinic, no, but I was actually, my name was drafted, and that's the reason why.
Super Care?
Yes po.
Okay.
But okay, regarding dito sa sinasabi natin na for confirmatory, no, dalawa lang naman po ang kino-confirm po natin dyan pag tayo nagsabi ng confirmatory. It's either drug test positive, drug test reactive yung crew member natin at first. Then the second one is kung reactive sa HIV, and those are the confirmatory. Pangatlo pala is pag reactive din yung TPHA natin or yung RPR natin. Now, when it comes to sa charging natin, no, I cannot defend our clinic kasi syempre hindi natin alam kung sino yung particular na crew member na yon. If it's kung tama ba yung claim niya na talagang charge sila ng 1-3 every time, and kung tama ba yung examination na sinabi niya na kine-claim niya na charge namin. There are sa charging natin, sasabihin natin na we need to add some examination test. I will explain to you, Senator, na ang basic examination ng DOH comprise only of a few examination.
Okay.
Now, if a crew member or a patient tested to have a UTI during the initial examination, of course, we need to treat that. When you are being treated, how can we follow up, or how can we know that the medication that was given to you is actually effective? Of course, we need to examine you again by asking you to repeat the examination. Is the examination free? Of course, it's not. Kasi ang mga reagents po natin is binabayaran po natin. Now, I understand the frustrations of the crew members that they are really mad na pabalik-balik sila. Siyempre, hindi sila taga Manila lahat. Then pangalawa, sila po ay may iba pa pong mga trainings, may mga visa, then nagpa-pile up po yung kanilang stress. And I understand na minsan, even if we give the instruction and also the explanation to the crew members, they don't understand it. Ang naalala lang nila is the inconvenience. And of course, kung sasabihin mo siguro no, na siguro walang puso ang clinic, why else would we expand our clinics and give them sort of parang mga convenience sa clinic kung hindi nagmamatter yung mga complaints ng mga crew members? We do. We are actually constantly monitoring the complaints of the crew members. Ang ano po namin dyan, of course, is sa understanding sa side nila na pag meron kaming sinabi that this is the rules and regulation, this is how we do the examination, I hope bubuksan din po nila ang kanilang mga isip na yun po ay kailangan. Kung pwede ko po bang sabihin yung ginawa kanina, yung sinabi nyo kanina na merong PEME pero nagkaroon ng cancer, now it's a problem. We are doing our best para hindi po magkaroon ng sakit ang crew members, ang seaman in particular, bago po natin pasakayin sa barko. Why? Ang mga crew members natin sa barko, they have limited access to medical examination and hospitals. Yun po yung ginagawa natin. No? So we make sure when they leave the clinic and they get deployed, that they are really fit. And pasensya na po kung nagdadagdag tayo ng examination. Kasi pag ikaw ang doktor, nakita mo ang pasyente na may problema sa...
Sir, I'm not a doctor and you're a doctor. So, hindi ko na kayo kukontrahin doon sa mga sinasabi niyong na dapat gamutin for confirmatory. I'm not gonna argue with you on that because you're the expert. You follow me? However, ang point ko, dapat yung confirmatory test package na yun kasama din doon sa 1-3. Halimbawa, minention mo yung UTI. So, nagpa-test tapos may UTI. Okay, so resetahan yung SIMA natin. Balik ka after na maubos mo yung gamot para check ka namin ulit kung meron ka pang UTI o wala. Libre na dapat yon.
I think, Senator, pwede ko bang hingin ang ano ng DOH about it? Even the DOH...
I agree with you kasi doktor kayo eh.
Apo.
Hindi kita kukontrahin dyan, Doc.
Yes po.
So pag check up ninyo, ikaw nag-example ng UTI, then use
Yes po, yes po.
let's use UTI as an example. So check up na lumabas sa blood test yun, di ba?
Yes po.
Na may UTI ka.
No, urine test po yan.
Oh, excuse me, urine test yun, di ba? Okay, lumitaw sa result, sa 1-3 package yun, di ba? Sa PEME. So lumitaw na sa urine test result mo, meron kang UTI. So therefore, resetahan ka namin ng gamot para inumin mo para magamot yung UTI. And then you come back after a few days, pag naubos mo ng gamot para i-recheck ka ulit, yung urine mo ulit, itetest natin kung malinis na ba o hindi. Dapat libre na yun yung pangalawa. Pero ang nangyari ngayon, pag nagpapacheck up ulit sa urine, babayad siya ulit ng another 1-3. Yun yung point ng mga nagreklamo sa amin.
Yes po, Senator. Okay, Senator, ang DOH po, sila po yung nag-regulate po ng prices natin. at kung ano po yung
Okay,
kasamang
nandito ba
examiner
DOH? Nandito man DOH? Ganun
and
po.
kung ano lang po ang
So ba't
kasama.
yung inaalaw po na paulit-ulit na mag-charge itong Supercare? Why did you allow them to do that? Ma'am, don't laugh.
No.
Don't laugh. This is serious matter, ma'am.
Yes, good afternoon, Mr. Chair. With regards to the charges, we set a standard for charges for the medical examination. Yung pag-repeat exam na yan, it's beyond our,
Beyond your control.
yes.
Beyond your
Because
regulation na.
we have the minimum.
Okay. So, tuturo mo sila ulit.
Hindi na natin.
Oh, kayo na yon. Tinuturo niyo sa DOH, tinuturo ulit kayo. Pabalik sa inyo.
Yes po, Senator.
Sir,
Apo,
come on. Come on.
Apo, pwede ko po bang sabihin na yung binigay
Ang nangyari pa kasi kuminsan, sir, hanggang 3 beses pa pinabalik-balik yung ating seaman, yung would-be seaman. 3 beses, so 3 beses magbabayad ng 1,313.
Oh,
Huwag ganon.
hindi po siya.
Kaya ang gusto ko mangyari dapat package na kung may nakita dyan, confirmatory, and then resetahan ng gamot, let's use UTI again kasi yun ang ginamit mo. O, inom ka ng gamot para paggamot sa UTI, and then after a few days, magpasa ka ng urine specimen mo, and then itetest namin. Libre na dapat yun, package yun. Yes, Secretary Kakdak.
Mr. Chair, ako naman po, ang parang iba ang take ko kasi ang term na ginamit is confirmatory. Kung may UTI na po yung tao, treatment na po ang susunod. Why do you need to confirm whether totoong may UTI siya and establish mo nang may UTI siya? But that's just my preliminary comment, Mr. Chair. My real comment is, under the DMW rules, the cost of the PEME shall be charged to the principal and the employer. So the mere fact, and in fact, it's punishable. Cancellation is the penalty kung ang isang LMA, Licensed Manning Agency, ay yan ay tinotolerate. So my basic question is, bakit nyo pinapayagan na tumanggap ng pera mula sa seafarer in the first place?
Yung binabayaran po ng ating principal at saka ng employer po natin initially is basically for the initial medical examination. Pag sinabi nating initial, tulad yan, ang package po ng ating DOH is worth 2,000 pesos for the basic examination, which includes the physical examination of the crew member, the audiometry, visual acuity, color testing, chest x-ray, urinalysis, CBC with platelet, and also blood typing, and also RPR. So yan po yan lang yung test na required. Tinry naming squeeze ang budget na sinabi ng DOH lang lahat ng examination na yon, babayaran namin ang doktor, ang dentista, ang ano, so worth 2,000 pesos na gagawin sa pasyente. Ang pagkakaintindi po namin, pag nagbayad po ang company ng 2,000 para dito sa ating initial na medical examination, kung walang sakit ang crew member.
Secretary Kakdak, you're saying na dapat hindi magbabayad yung seaman. Sino mo dapat magbabayad ng PEME?
Principal for employer through the manning agent. So
bakit sinisingil ng super, ano ito?
dapat parang ang kausap po ng clinic yung manning agent, and then ang tao just go in and out. And then ito yung kinikwento ko kanina, Sen. Ito yung kinikwento ko, Sen, na may prescribe may package na, as you call it. So hindi na ho kayo lalabas doon sa package na yun. At kung may nakita kayo, hindi nyo na uulitin. Nakita nyo ng UTI, uulitin nyo pa to confirm.
Kaya nga, as a follow-up doon sa sinasabi ni Secretary Kakdak, tama nga naman, baka palpak po yung laboratorio ninyo. Sandali lang, at palpak din po yung doktor na tumitingin doon sa result. Kasi pag may UTI, confirm na yon sa lab test, confirm niya ba UTI. So this is the treatment, like I said, bigyan ng gamot na para magamot yung UTI. Bakit kailan pa i-confirm? So ibig sabihin, duda kayo doon sa laboratory ninyo. Duda kayo doon sa doktor na bumasa nung lab result. Baka ikaw po yun? Ikaw ba yun?
No, Senator. Yung confirmatory na sinabi nyo is basically yung kino-complain. Nung nagbigay ako ng example kung kailan mag-uulit ng examination ng crew member, ang sinabi ko po ay UTI.
Kaya nga, sir,
hindi ko po sinabi na
confirmatory. Kasi may point nga naman sa Secretary Kakdak. So ngayon, ginamit mo yung UTI, doktor ka, okay? Hindi kami doktor, ikaw ang expert pagdating sa medical field. Now, pero common sense ang ginagamit namin ngayon dito Nagpa-urine test. Tapos lumabas sa urine test result na meron siyang UTI. Galing sa iyan. I'm not putting words into your mouth. Okay. So, confirm na yon. So, bakit kailangan pa mag-test ng another one for confirmatory? That's bullshit. In every sense of the word. I'm sorry. Doktor ka.
Yes po. Senator, yung ginawa ko lang example kaninang UTI, hindi po siya yung sinasabi ng crew, no? Kasi hindi natin alam kung ano yung sinasabi ng crew member kanina na
Sir, ginamit mo na example yan, so that means it happened. Nangyayari yung ganong senaryo. Kasi ginamit mo yung reason eh. Di ba? So maybe talagang, not maybe, nangyayari talaga yun simply because you use that as a scenario.
Hindi po. Sinabi ko kanina, ang mga kino-confirm sa clinic ay yung
Oh.
HIV, drug test, at saka po ang ating syphilis. Yan po yung
O di sana sa umpisa pa lamang, sa unang test pa lamang, doon na makukonfirm kung meron siyang HIV o wala.
Ang ating ano po.
Di ba? Di ba pag wait a minute, listen doc, come on. So ngayon, magpapatest itong OFW, kasama na doon HIV test. So lalabas ngayon yung result, whether siya ay may HIV o wala. Ba't kinakailan pa i-confirm? Sana magan.
Pwede ho bang sumingit na
protocol po ng
na
DOH.
sisingit ko lang na under our
DOH, sige,
our
tagal, babalik tayo.
Sorry.
DOH, sinisisi ka. Protocol daw ninyo na kapag na-confirm na sa lab test result nila na merong HIV yung isang seaman, kailangan i-confirm pa ulit dahil sabi niyo sa DOH.
Kasi po yung sa HIV, may screening lang po yun initially. And then we have to confirm it kung talagang mayroon siyang HIV because sometimes may mga false positive na result for screening. So it's not 100% na pag positive sa screening, talagang meron na siya. May mga false positive kasi na result. So that's the reason why we have to request for a confirmatory test to make sure na siya talaga may HIV or what.
Go ahead, Secretary.
po, ang pagkakaalam ko sa HIV law natin is to protect the HIV positive person. Kung may hinala ng may HIV, you do not subject or further burden that person. So kung meron ka nang na-spot in the initial check, that person is now subject to protection under the HIV law. So you're doing the reverse, Mr. Chair, kasi lalo nyo pa siyang dinidiin at ini-embarrass nyo pa siya with further checking, and not only that, you're making him pay or her pay for the additional test. The HIV patient is protected under our HIV laws.
At dapat, kung ako tatanungin, dapat nirefer na sa DOH. Do you agree, Dr. Sulutan ng DOH?
The confirmatory test, that will considered siya, pag nag-positive siya doon, considered na siya na positive siya for HIV. Before we conduct the confirmatory test, ang kliyente kailangan magkaroon pa ng counseling, whether he has to subject himself to confirmatory test or not.
So may counseling pa dapat?
May counseling pa po yun.
So, Dr. Ramel, do you do that in your clinic?
Po
Counseling?
yung counselor sa clinic.
May counseling pa po yan kasi there are some clients who did not want to undergo confirmatory test. Sa mga may gusto talaga, so we have to, but we encourage them.
Ano po yung pinagkaiba doon sa unang pagtetest para sa HIV ng isang tao versus lumabas ng result na, oy, HIV positive ka, i-confirm pa namin ulit? Why do we have to do that twice?
Mayroon kasi, Mr. Chair, sinasabi na may false positive result.
Okay.
Yung test kasi niyan is screening lang po yun. So
okay.
there is the possibility na pag i-confirm mo siya, negative siya.
Okay. That happens.
Yes.
Okay.
Kaya hindi siya 100% na pag nag-positive sa screening, 100% na rin siya na positive for HIV.
Okay, that's why dun sa confirmatory, sabi niyo magka-counseling muna. And then if the person would like to go ahead and have another test, which is what you call confirmatory.
Yes po.
Whereas ang sinasabi natin, Secretary Kakdak, for the protection of that person, Secretary Kakdak, so dapat hindi na ituloy.
What's the
Hindi
purpose
naman po,
of council?
Mr. Chair, pwede naman po to proceed nga to confirm. However, dapat the approach should be not to burden that person by making him or her pay for that second test. Dapat ang interesado na dyan yung the principal or the state who should come in and say, okay, to confirm, we will have to step in and shoulder the expense but not to charge the seafarer.
Twice. Yun ang sinasabi namin kanina
Oo.
pa ito.
Opo, Senator, no? Naintindihan ko po yung nagmi-mix up lang kasi yung mga sinasabi natin. But anyways, ang HIV confirmatory natin is libre po ng DOH together with the drug testing.
Kasi pinapabayad po sila eh.
Kaya nga po gusto ko pong malaman kung ano kaya talaga in certainty yung pinapabayad kasi, we cannot defend ourselves kung sasabihin lang ng crew member na nagbayad kami ng 1.3 without even knowing kung ano talaga.
Okay.
Talaga bang
Sir, before we proceed on that,
Yes po.
sino po yung mga manning agencies na nagpapadala sa inyo ng mga seafarers para magpa-test at pinababayad ninyo? Who are those manning agencies? Because they're supposed to be the one responsible sa pagbayad ng fee na yon.
The manning agencies are paying the initial examinations po. At,
So nagbayad na yung manning agency, magbabayad pa yung seafarer?
ito po yung yung budget natin for the repeat examination, Senator, no? At tulad yan, magbibigay lang ako ng example, okay lang
Teka muna,
po ba?
Secretary Kakdak, sabi mo kanina, nasa batas natin, sa PEME, dapat shoulder ng manning agency ang lahat ng gastusin sa PEME. O, nagbayad daw yung agency, and then, maniningil pa sila.
That's what makes it illegal kasi ano na yun over and beyond what is necessary for the worker. If it is in addition to the prescribed protocol, dapat may option na yung worker, hindi niyo na siya itatali para sabihin, oh, next test ikaw na naman because that's already over and beyond kung ano yung binayaran. Pagka over and beyond ng binayaran na ng principal, dapat may option na yung worker. Kasi pwede naman yan sabihin, I can do that later. I can do that in my own time with my own doctor and a public hospital or what have you. Pero ang trabaho nyo lang po, yung doon sa anong hinahanap ng ship owner.
Secretary, if I may, bibigyan ko kayo ng example, no? If a company requires the crew member to undergo an ECG, tapos ang ECG natin is hindi maganda, that may require him to undergo stress echo, ang binayaran lang ng company natin is worth 2,000 pesos para dun sa medical examination. And stress echo is 7,000. Pag gagawin sa hospital, it could be 5,000 depending on the hospital. We cannot squeeze in 7,000 dun sa binayaran ng manning agency na 2,000. Where are we going to get that fund in particular? Lalo na kung hindi naman yun ang agreement ng principal o kaya ng clinic. Hindi po magkakasya ang 2,000 pagkasama na ang stress echo. Even tapos another is if we are going to turn down the medical examination of a crew member of a patient just because hindi siya nag-undergo ng stress echo, I think that is unfair. Kasi until proven otherwise na ang problema niya sa ECG is corrected or something na papasa pa, hindi po kami pwedeng mag-issue ng fitness certificate. Yun po yung ano natin, no?
Secretary Kakdak.
May sagot din po huli doon kasi yan po ay dapat may arrangement na kayo with the principal. Kung ano, I'm sure with your experience as a medical clinic, you know about the certain possibilities kapag nagpa-test isang tao na posibleng magkaroon ng second or third test. But that too is under the auspices of the principal. Kaya dapat po may arrangement now with the principal kasi the rule is absolute. No, not a single cent should come from the seafarer and no ifs and buts. Kaya hindi ho pwedeng may lusot yun. Ang lusot is dun sa principal, hindi sa seafarer ang lusot.
So having said that by Secretary Kakdak, investigate Supercare Medical Services DOH. And I want a report in 5 days kung ano pong resulta ng inyong investigasyon. If kailangan kansilahin ang kanilang lisensya, so be it. Kasi illegal naman pala talaga. Ayan na mismo galing kay Secretary Kakdak. Nasa batas pala yun. Dapat yung principal ang may gasto sa lahat-lahat. Walang kahit na 5 magagaling sa seafarer and yet nagcha-charge sila. You want to say something? Ms. Jody Domingo, President, United Filipino Seafarers. Madam, go ahead po.
Yes po, good afternoon po, Mr. Chair. If we may just add din po, no, gusto ko lang pong i-echo yung mga nare-receive din naming complaints about our seafarers regarding their PEME. One instance po, may isa po akong personal na kakilala na nag-PEME siya, then may nakuha po sa kanya na meron daw siyang genital warts. And he was referred to a certain hospital para ipatanggal yung genital warts na to. At his expense po ito. He shelled out 13,000 para sa pagtanggal po ng genital warts na ito. Now,
Na dapat ang may gastos nun, tulad sabi sa Katdak yung principal.
ang concern lang po namin doon kasi ng mga seafarers is fit to work po ang seafarer or ang crew. Now, genital warts po, hindi naman po siguro makakaabala or makakaapekto sa performance nila on board ang genital warts. Kaya bakit kailangan na maipa-remove niya yung genital warts niya para lang mabigyan siya ng fit to work certificate. So that's one po. And regarding naman po sa iba namang concern, yun po, sa mga accreditation po ng clinics, I think, actually po, since we've been receiving complaints about this din po sa PEME na ito, we have prepared a position paper po and proposal po for a possible new legislation or amendment to certain rules po regarding the PEME system po for our seafarers.
Thank you, Ms. Domingo. Well noted. Sige po, I'll wait for that position paper that you will submit to us, to this committee. Okay, may kasabihin, Secretary
Yun po
Katdak?
yung sinasabi ko rin kanina, Mr. Chair. Again, may prescribed package. May mga list of, let's say, 8 or 9. Alam ko some flags are stricter. I think the Germans are more stricter than others. Things like that. Mas marami silang prescribe. And rightfully so, karapatan naman ng ship owner. But paglabas na doon, a seafarer cannot be forced to be subjected to be treated by the same clinic. Dapat may option siya. But if he or she is placed in a situation na iti-treat, in this case, yung genital warts, sagot yun ng principal. Kasi linagay ho siya doon sa lugar na napilitan na siyang matreat by that same clinic na tama po kayo, hindi naman kailangan yun. Basta wala doon sa labas nung required medical package ng ship owner, hindi po dapat obligahin ang seafarer.
Saan pinatanggal yung
Go through
genital warts? Baka kakontak ng
Maari po, sir. Maari pong contact din po nung clinic yung
at may
nirefer
pasyente
sa
siguro yung
kanya.
clinic na
Opo,
nag-refer.
maaari din po. That's one po kasi yung mga seafarers po, since may accreditation po sa clinics, yung mga seafarers natin, most of them, wala pong choice na magkaroon ng clinic kung saan sila pupunta. Dahil kung hindi accredited
Hindi sila
ng mga PNI, hindi po tatanggapin yung kanilang certificate or yung kanilang medical resort.
Excuse me, DOH. Sa kaso ng isang OFW sa abroad, pumunta siya sa isang kilalang ospital sa Santiago City, Isabela. At doon sa test na ginawa, lumitaw na may problema siya. May bukol siya sa katawan niya na cancer. Bakit kinakailangan papupunta sa maliit na clinic samantalang yun, ospital na yon na nagsabing, yes, may sakit ka. Nagbigay yung kilalang ospital Santiago, General Hospital. And then, kailangan pa siya pupunta sa maliit na clinic tulad ng clinic nila itong Dr. Ramel?
Mr. Chair, kasi po, yung mga
Just because they were accredited by you, so
po, because we have certain requirements din also for that.
anong pinagkaiba ng laboratory ng kilalang ospital tulad ng mga General Hospital or St. Luke's halimbawa? So ibig sabihin mas magaling yung laboratory nila Dr. Ramel kaysa sa St. Luke's laboratory ng St. Luke's? Is that what you're saying? Halimbawa yung isang pasyente ay isang seafarer o OFW pumunta sa St. Luke's at sinabi ng St. Luke's Hospital, ito yung sakit mo. Kaya you're not fit to work. Tapos pag pumunta dito sa kabilang clinic, kailan pa papuntahin dito sa accreditation clinic? Dapat, the fact na kilalang ospital yon, dapat tanggapin na yon para hindi na magdoble-doble ang gastos.
Yun naman kasi, tama naman na acceptable yung findings ng hospital. But then, if they're applying for abroad, na mag-OFW sila, they have to go through the accredited clinics natin. Kasi there are certain...
Why are they being accredited? I'm just curious. Okay, what
This
are
is
the process that they the clinic like the clinic being represented by Dr. Ramil that they have to undergo for them to be accredited? And what's the difference between DOH accrediting the clinic of Ramel versus accrediting St. Luke's?
Okay. Because we have this Administrative Order 2013-006, Guidelines on Rule 11, the role of the Department of Health in the Omnibus Rules and Regulation, implementing the Migrant Workers and Overseas Overseas Filipinos Act of 1995.
So that's an administrative order coming from?
Yes po, from the Department of Health.
Okay.
Amended by the Republic Act number 10022. Lahat na provisions nito, ito ang being carried out natin to accredit these facilities to
I think that has to be amended. I will
Yes,
amend
yes.
that. I will amend that administrative order. No, that's bullshit. Sorry for the word. Ito na nga yung OFW, mamaya makakausap natin sila. Pumunta siya sa Santiago kasi malayo siya. Santiago General Hospital. Isang kilalang, respetadong ospital. At nung nagpa-lab exam siya, lumitaw na meron siyang sakit. And then, binigay niyang result sa agency. Sabi ng agency, hindi, punta ka sa clinic na accredited ng DOH. So pagpunta niya doon sa clinic, wala nakitang sakit. Pinaandar, pinago sa abroad. And then tumawag sa akin, nagpapawi na kasi malala na yung sakit niya. So, I have to amend that. Really. Pag nagpa-check up ka na sa isang kilalang ospital, hindi mo na kailangan pang pumunta sa ospital na clinic tulad ng clinic ni Dr. Ramel na kung tawagin ay RGO Laboratory. You get it, ma'am? And dapat, ang OFW pupunta sa accredited hospital, pwede siya pumunta of her choice. Kung alam mo, nasa Isabela siya o nasa Zamboanga siya, of her choice as long as accredited ng DOH, pwede na dapat yun. Ano nangyari, pagdating niya sa Maynila, dadaan ulit siya sa laboratory clinic tulad ditong RGO. Na kuminsan kasabwat, I'm not saying exactly kayo po, nakasabwat na manning agency. Kaya sinasabi ng manning agency, sige na, fit to work niya yan, akong bahala, hati na lang tayo, etc. That is possible, that's a possibility. You understand? Dito nga sa sample ko, sinabi dito na may sakit. And then, pagdating sa Manila, pinapunta sa accredited clinic ng DOH para sa pagpapa-abroad. So I would like to, Secretary Kakdak, let's work together on this. I-amend ko yan. Ibasura ko yung bullshit na yan. I'm sorry again. Kaya nga, then let's work on this and then para iakyat natin kay sa DOH Secretary. Diba? Make a recommendation on that.
Mr. Chair, meron pong batas ng mga 15 years ago, yung anti-decking law. Ibig sabihin, bawal po yung i-prescribe mo, pipilitin mo yung worker na pupunta sa isang clinic na hindi naman niya gusto o kaya bukod pa doon sa accredited clinic na gusto niya. So, the short answer is yes, Mr. Chair, we are willing to sit down with you and look into the consistency between that law and the current regulation.
Let's sit down with the DOH Secretary. Siguro susunod na hearing, let's call the DOH Secretary to be here para to shed light and see kung pwede bang i-repaso or basura na yung administrative order. Kasi unfair po, ma'am, tama nga si Secretary Kakdak. Kumbaga, kahit na hindi niya gusto yung clinic na yan, she or he is forced to go to that clinic just because sinabi ng manning agency na diyan ka magpa-check dahil yan ang mag-issue sa iyo ng clearance whether fit to work or not. Kahit na ano pang first class na hospital, 5-star, 6-star, 7-star na hospital, nagpa-check up siya at Sinabi sa kanya na may sakit siya. Hindi. Dumaan ka pa ulit sa isang clinic na, sorry, hindi sa pagmamali sa clinic ni Dr. Ramel, mas mababa, third class, fourth class. Tapos si fit to work. Very clear na merong kalokohan dito.
That-
You agree?
That is Administrative Order 2011-0015. That is guidelines on the prohibition of referral or decking practice of OFW clinics and respecting the rights of OFW to choose their own OFW clinic for medical examination.
Okay.
Pursuant to Republic Act number 10022.
So, ibig sabihin, pwede pala sila.
Yes po.
Oh, dapat hindi na mag-exist itong mga clinic tulad ng RGO Laboratory. Why do we have clinics like this? Then why do you give them accreditation? If doon sa application nila, nilagay nila doon, they're asking for accreditation so that they will be screening OFWs or seafarers para sa PEME. Then why did you allow laboratories like these to exist?
Actually, sir, nasa pipeline naman ng bureau namin to amend this kasi way back 2013 pa tong AO na to eh. Hindi pa namin na-amend. Nasa pipeline na ito for amendment talaga.
Basura nyo na
Kasi
po yan.
pati
Yan na
yung-
pala, nasa nasa administrative order nyo na rin na merong karapatan ng seafarer o OFW na magpili ng clinic of his or her choice na para doon magpa-check up o PEME. Bakit pa kailangan kayo mag-accredit ng clinic na tulad nitong RGO na kailangan sila mag-certify whether fit to work? When in fact, the hospital halimbawa na gusto ng OFW doon siya magpa-check up, sinertify na siya.
Kasi
Kailangan pa another certification from them, parang confirmatory.
we just base our guidelines on this migrant workers for overseas act on 1995 pa.
1995. So it's about time, outdated na yan. It's about time na,
Inamend siya sa RA 10022 na ito na yung existing namin na fina-follow. Yung RA 10022.
then we have to amend that.
Yes po.
I have to amend that. I will file a bill to amend that provision.
Yes.
Okay? Sorry, Dokta, maghanap na lang kayo ng ibang hanap buhay. Kasi pakakansela ko yung mga clinic tulad niya. I'm sorry, nothing personal. I don't know you and you don't know me. Kasi parang racket to eh. Lumilitaw. Nang-racket kayo sa mga seafarer natin. Pasensya na po, Doc, ha? But I will do everything. Bibilisan ko na para mawala na kayo ng hanap buhay. Maghanap na lang kayo ng ibang trabaho. Negosyo, wag yan. Okay? So, clear tayo dyan, Secretary Kakdak. Magtulungan tayo and para
Yes, Mr.
sit
Chair.
down with the DOH Secretary as well.
Yes, Mr. Chair.
And then yung sa RA, yung provision na doon, magpa-file ako ng
Yeah, yes.
amendment.
Yes, Mr.
Okay.
Chair.
Thank you very much.